Okay, Judge, a bit of a lengthy meeting this morning, but you guys were trying to hash out some details for some new software, I guess.
Correct.
And that's for the county-wide system.
That's correct.
How'd that all go?
Well, we're going to bring it back on the 30th to make a final decision. There were some commissioners that wanted to kind of do their own due diligence and call some other counties regarding this software that's being used. We had I think a 7 or 8 member panel of employees that deal with our software every day, elected and non-elected officials, and interviewed a number of software providers over the last year and a half, and have selected one provider to bring to court today with the contract. And I think for the most part, the court is supporting of the software. They just want to do a little more of their own due diligence, talking to some of the other commissioners and the other counties around us that use it, and around the state that use it, to get that assurance, because this is a very big expenditure in terms of transition. This transition is going to be to probably over $2.5 to $3 million in terms of transitioning from our old software, which is basically 30 years old, to a brand new software, which obviously, if you just compare to simple things, the software today versus the software we're still using is pretty antiquated, and we need to step it up and get up there to the top shelf where we need to be. We should have done this a few years ago. It didn't work out. We're right now at the cusp of making this change. It's not an easy change. It's very difficult. It affects all the departments, and so there's a little bit of each commissioner wanted to do a little bit more due diligence. They weren't opposed to it. You heard that in court. They weren't opposed to it. It's just they want to have a little more knowledge themselves, and so they're going to delve into it. We're going to bring them back on the 30th.
Yeah,
I feel good about it. I think that end of the day, we're going to have to replace our software. That's the bottom line. And if it takes a little longer for commissioners to be comfortable with it, well, I'm all for that.
Yeah, because it's there's a training period.
Yes.
I mean, when you get new software, it's difficult to learn and more difficult, for others. And I guess there's a training period that comes with that.
Correct.
Right, and that's built into the cost.
Yes, and that was some of the questions they were asking, was that additional cost. But I think this delaying for 2 weeks, let the commissioners get that comfort level. I think we'll be fine. We're going to bring it back on the 30th.
Okay. And let's see. Yes, there's a property fraud alert with the county clerk. What's that all about?
Well, it's a program. It's available in most county clerk offices where you can register your home, and if anybody's trying to steal your lien or trying to change the title in your property, or anybody request information on that piece of property, you immediately will be notified who is the owner of record. I belong to it. I think it's a great program. I think it's a safety net for your home. I mean, it's one of the biggest purchases that you ever make in your life is your home, and you don't want someone to come underneath it and steal it from you.
Yeah.
Well, this program will help you make sure that never happens.
And that has happened. People have
happened.
had their property just stolen right out from underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I guess the airport, the first part of the grant is coming in. Is that right?
Yes. It's the two $9 million grants coming in. This is the first one we approved to start the work and get the engineering and so forth going and get the whole process going. It's probably a 2-year project. It's reimbursable up to 90% of the cost. So we're having to put the money up front, which is basically about $20 million, and then it's reimbursed back by the feds once the project's complete.
All right, and then I guess looking at some new software for elections.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Well, elections these days, as you well know, continues to be updated, continues to be more secure, continues to be reviewed, where there is no way for someone to break into an election system, and that's basically just additional softwares and maintenance and outside consultants making sure that we meet every criteria that we have to meet, not just by the law, but by the practicality.
Yeah, the election said that apparently people have been hacking into...
Not ours.
Not ours, correct. but it has happened.
Not in Gregg County, but in other states that has happened, and
People changing the numbers,
and the legislature here is very committed to making sure that does not happen in Texas.
and this is going to help, I guess. And of course, that passed. All right. Was there? And then of course we had a budget transfer of $10,000 for the radio services for the sheriff's office, right? Yeah. So that what was that about?
Yeah, it's just a trunk line that we participate with Harrison County in using to move around all kind of radio signals, and they let us use their signal over that far part of the county if we need it.
I see. Okay. And that's just a standard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I guess that's it, Judge. Unless you want to add something.
Have nothing to add.
All right. Thanks again. Appreciate you.
You bet.